So, Ted, you'd be making the rounds with Randy here for live events during the build to SummerSlam. Up to this point, you had worked with some really unbelievable performers between Japan and Mid South. You'd been everywhere. And now here you are working with Randy Savage for what I assume is the first time in your career. What did you think of working with Randy?
Uh, I had no problems with Randy. Some people have problems. I've heard people have had problems with Randy, but Randy and I got along enough. We got along fine. Uh, you know, I know that. Well, again, one more example of having something in common. We came from wrestling families,
Yes.
and I think that played into it. But it's kind of like uh, you know. Uh, we all contributed. It's kind of like when, I mean, the first time that Randy and I think we ever touched was at WrestleMania 4,
Wow.
the main event at WrestleMania 4, first match we ever had, first time we were ever in the ring together, I believe. He would map the, and for a guy who came from a wrestling background, and he was somebody who liked to map it all out, and I was kind of surprised, but I said okay. Uh, but I'd add a couple things in there. I said, look, as we're doing this, if I have something that comes to mind, uh, you know, give me the grace to, let's do it if it's a spot or whatever. But we're going to always come back to this, you
Mm.
know. And so as long as I gave him that, security, he was fine. And I think that a lot of times that was just it. He was so intent on the match being, like perfect. So
I was
anyway,
going to ask you about that because
yeah,
that has been the rumor with him and DDP for that matter. And then, the two of those guys work together. So I'm sure they were in heaven because they both love mapping out their matches. But yeah, that had to be quite an adjustment for you going from, being a call it in the ring, let's feel the fans type guy to all of a
yeah,
sudden now you've got to remember a bunch of stuff in a match.
yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't that hard. I mean, because it was wrestling, and it was something I was very familiar with. But yeah, we did
Yes.
it.
And thank God it's something you're an expert in wrestling.